Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stand. Wow, so the plot thickens, and how stupid does some of these people who jumped on the Qatari PSG state-backed bid look now? We've got an article out from BBC reporter Simon Stone and direct quotes from Nasser Al-Khelaifi, the PSG president, describing his involvement in the United sale as a joke, that it's got nothing to do with him. Will there be apologies? Will there be apologies? Of course there won't. No, because it doesn't fit the agenda, man. You know, and ultimately, if there's a sniff that it might be, you know, some sort of conspiracy going on with Qatar, let's run with it. But as soon as you get sat down, there'll be no apology. So basically what is coming out here is that he's been spoken to, the PSG president, because he's got a very prominent role in the European football scene. Of course, PSG didn't get involved in the Super League. They're very well, he's very well respected within UEFA, rightly or wrongly, that's the case. And this is what has come out from the BBC. PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi. We've also got an update on Harry Kane from the Times. Nothing to do with the sale. He's not involved in that, don't worry. Says he has nothing to do with the takeover of Manchester United. PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi. The conversations with Al-Khelaifi has led to suggestions of a wider Qatari involvement in Sheikh Jassim's bid. However, Sheikh Jassim has repeatedly said his offer was made in a personal capacity. This is confirmed by the PSG chairman, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, who says, speaking in Istanbul before the Champions League final after a meeting of the influential European Clubs Association, the ECA, which he chairs, he said, PSG is my club, in my heart, and I have nothing to do with Manchester United. It makes me laugh. I am Qatari, right? If people ask me opinion, I will answer them for sure, and that's what they do. I'm not talking about anyone, not just Manchester United. I will give them the experience that I have, and that is it. I'm not going to mention, but you know, even recently, I've been spoken to from people who are looking to, you know, invest in football clubs in Europe. I want the best for European competitions. If it's within the regulation, why not? Not only Qatari, everyone, but specifically has said that no, I've got no involvement in what's going on here. And this is coming from Simon Stone, who was the person who last night reported that it was actually the Glazers that approached Nasser Al-Khelaifi anyway. So look, I just think that clarity on this is pretty good. And again, I think what we've got going on here, and we've said it a few times in relation to this sale, you've got transfer journalists sticking their nose into business, and it's sort of being exposed, because when you're dealing with a transfer, you can rely on a source, you can put a bit of information out there. United are interested, United are close, personal terms may or may not be agreed, but you're dealing with business here. And I think people are allowing and clouding their own judgment here with predictions that are making themselves look rather silly. He says, look, if people ask me, that was the second part of it. But the most important thing is, it's got nothing to do with Manchester United. And it's a joke that people are suggesting that he is. And he's basically saying, what, because I'm Qatari. This is something that could have been quite positive, and I still think remains quite positive. But the story is that the Glazers approached Al-Khelaifi, the PSG president, a month ago, asking him to go as a go-between between them and Sheikh Jassim Al Thani to help the bid process. He refused, and that's the end of the story. What we've had in the last 24 hours is a number of people, outlets, journalists, mainstream, fans, jumping on this and going, this is a clear indication that it's Qatar who are trying to buy this football club, and they're doing it in a, you know, they're basically putting up Sheikh Jassim as a front because it really is PSG and Qatar that are buying Man United, blah, blah, blah. And ultimately, they don't have the evidence of that. But they're trying to run that. They're trying to use the cloak and dagger approach. They're trying to tarnish this bid from Al Thani and make out that it is PSG and other people that are behind it. And they will lose in that race, because they're up against people who are far more versed in the world of business than football journalists. So what they really should do is just come out and say that they don't want Al Thani for whatever reason it is, and back Sajim publicly. But they won't do that either, because they'll get a load of United fans going, how are you backing something you've got no idea what it is? How are you backing somebody who's only buying less than half of the club? How are you backing somebody that's going to basically split the United ownership into three? shareholders, Glazers and Sir Jim? How are you backing somebody that's not releasing the debt? How are you backing somebody that can't buy the whole club? And they don't want that, but they don't want Al-Thani. So they'll try, and they can't publicly preach their backing of Sir Jim because they don't know what it is. So they have to publicly demean the Al-Thani bid, even though they've got no evidence of what they're talking about. So, look, credit to Simon Stone, as ever, very, very good journalist with the BBC, and also, you know, fair play to the PSG president for coming out, because, you know, it just kills those rumours dead. He's basically publicly saying that I do not have anything to do with the bidding process for Manchester United. It's the Glazers and it's Al-Thani, and I'm not involved. You know, that's where we're at. But the positive for me is that the Glazers approached him a month ago to get involved in the bidding process. And where were we a month ago? Probably much the same as where we are now. However, a fifth bid has gone in that is more significant. So I don't know where we're at with the sale. I suspect we might move into a period of quiet now, but it has been a very busy 24 hours around this, where ultimately there has been an effort from certain people to undermine the Qatar bid from Al-Thani. And ultimately they've ended up not doing their homework, because the homework is PSG's president is not involved in the bidding process for Manchester United. This is a private investor from Qatar called Sheikh Jassim Al-Thani. And that's the bid that it's going to be. What I will always say personally is, I don't really care where the money is coming from behind Sheikh Jassim. If it's, you know, is Sir Jim not doing this with Nice? I own Nice, so I can't own Man United. But if I get Man United, I'll sell Nice. Who knows what happens to PSG if they get hold, if Al-Thani gets hold of Manchester United? Who knows? I don't know. But there are certainly many, many ways that Manchester United can be owned and by Al-Thani and be super rich. And ultimately, 100% ownership. That's all I want. Glazers out, that's all I want. And, you know, this potential bid offers that. We'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen next. But I think it's a really significant update, because all the scaremongering, all the opinion, all the talk of a state-backed bid, all the jumping on that PSG... I mean, they jumped on to the fact that Nasir, Al-Khelaifi and PSG were part of the bid with no evidence. They just jumped on it. Oh, that's it. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Anyway, just a bit of other news that's come out from The Times. This is literally coming out in the last hour or so. So The Times are saying that United have basically resigned to the fact they will not be able to go and get their number one striker target, Harry Kane, this summer. I don't choose to dwell on this for too long. Suffice to say, good, move on, go and get somebody else. Harry Kane has a very simple decision to make. He's won absolutely nothing in his career. He's 30 this summer, and he should be moving to Real Madrid or Manchester United. If he's staying at Spurs to be managed by a guy that's never managed in the Premier League before, he's coming down from Celtic, and they're not playing in Europe, and you think you're going to do anything other than score a load of Premier League goals, you're just chasing down Alan Shearer. You're just Alan Shearer FC. That's all he's doing. Harry Kane should be putting in a transfer request if he's ambitious and forcing a move. And he's clearly not going to do that. Maybe he's right to do that. Maybe he's wrong. My pure opinion is that he should be allowed to leave Spurs. They're basically holding him prisoner, which they've got every right to do. But Harry Kane should be pushing that publicly and saying, there's a statement from Harry Kane here. I've done absolutely everything for this football club. I've broken records. I've been here for 10 years. I love the football club. And year after year after year, they fail to deliver the platform for me and these fans to get what we want. And, you know, I'm 30 years of age now. It's my last chance. I want to go and win things. I've always wanted to do it with Spurs, but it's not going to happen. But he won't do that. So United, I wouldn't even worry about Daniel Levy and his ridiculous demands. I'd just say, Harry, disappointed. You know, you've not done anything to help us do what's going to be a very difficult deal. We need you on board. You're not on board. We're moving on elsewhere. And that's what United need to do. Sometimes you don't hit the bullseye. Sometimes you go for the triple 20, and which is actually more than a bullseye. So that's what United need to do. Let's just move on. Simple as that. Anyway, look, smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. We should be back live at 7 ahead of the Champions League final, which we're going to do on That's Football. Get your comments in below. I'll speak to you in a bit.